Hello there. How's it going? My name is Greg. I go by Lilac online as my, music producer name. And today I'm going to be breaking down a beat called Frightening Image that I made. It's like a Radiohead type beat. I got, one or two comments from a couple of people who wanted to know how I did. So I'm going to, in a minute, I'm going to get to, all of the presets and all the nitty gritty. But I got one comment that I wanted to go over first because it was a really very kind comment, and I wanted to make sure that I got everything that they asked. So, New Ghost Pack, thank you for the comment. They ask if you're good. How did you make it? How did you know what to put? How to write? How did you learn theory if you did, or what did you do to make this if you don't know theory? And just, yeah. So really, really kind stuff. This is a very, it's a question with quite a bit of scope. But as far as like, how do I know what to put, what to write? First off, my music theory knowledge, I have a little bit, but really nothing extensive. Like, it's when I'm writing things, I am certainly not thinking about theory. I'm just like trial and error. This sounds bad. This sounds bad. Okay, it's sounding a little bit better, and then finally it gets good. Like the core of an instrumental for me is a chord progression usually, or a single idea to build around, and that first idea usually takes hours, or in multiple sessions. I'll sit down. I'll write 30 different ideas. None of them work. So as far as like knowing what to put, how to write, all of that stuff, I don't know how to do it. I just keep making stuff until something finally hits. And it can be really difficult when you're starting out because, you just have no idea where to start, what sounds good. And to that, I would say make just something bad. Just make something bad. Whatever DAW you're using, be it on your phone or if you have a computer, whatever, just like make it with, whatever you have, and just, save it and listen back to it. And the first 1,000 instrumentals you make are going to sound bad, but every time you'll go like, what's wrong with this? And you'll have a specific question that kind of comes out when you start to make something, and you'll look it up. And that's the beauty of the internet. It brings the internet, it's done a lot of harm, but one of the beautiful things about it is you can teach yourself anything, for free pretty much. So for this, I would say, just try, and then you'll find something you don't like about what you're doing, and you'll go, how do I make this better? And you'll get down a YouTube rabbit hole, and you'll learn things, and then you'll keep getting better and better. And, I still don't think my instrumentals are very good. I've been doing this for 12 years now, and there's a lot of stuff I make that I put out that I'm like, this isn't that good. Like, it's definitely better than what I used to make, but, as you get good at these things, the goalposts you set for yourself just move as you get better. So you're always trying to outdo your past self. I mean, it's kind of a cliche, but it's true. It is true. So as far as like knowing what to write, what to put, you just have to start. You just have to go and make something horrendous. Make something so bad. Make something that's you're embarrassed of. And then slowly but surely you'll make something that's, it'll be good. You'll like it. I do have some stuff that I like now, and I listen to it and I go, this is sick. And so, but that it's taken me years. It took me years to get to that point. So just try, learn as you go, all that kind of stuff. That's all I can say. If you have any particular questions, if there's ever, something you hear in one of my beats that you want to dig in on and give me something more specific, I'm absolutely happy to do that. So please just leave a comment. Let me know what you want to know. Okay, so that covers that big one. Now let's get into the Radiohead beat itself. So quick overview on the structure. We've got an intro, kind of like a verse here, chorus here, verse, chorus, and then we do, a big crazy rock ending, which is very common for Radiohead. They love to do an A B C kind of song structure, where they do like a big detour that comes out of nowhere at the end, and it's very surprising and exciting. So that's why I took a page out of their book. But without further ado, let's just start at the beginning and break it down as we go. So here's the intro. It sounds something like this. Let's get the click out of there. And it just does that again. So scary organ. This is the 8x10 from Vintage Organs on Contact. I definitely didn't mess with any of the dials, I can tell you that much. Because look at this. I mean, what does any of this do? I have no idea. And I didn't care to know. I pulled this one up and I played it, and it sounded good, so I used it. I feel like there can be a lot of like you can be very self-conscious. You're like, oh, I have to make everything from scratch. Like I have to make my sounds from scratch. Nah. If it sounds good, it is good. That's a pretty good rule to live by. So just make something that you like. So that's the organ. As for the drums, these look like all just like I use Machine. I have a Machine Micro Mark II. And it looks like that the plugin is broken, so I'm not going to be able to show you, unfortunately. But I use it to program all my beats, and that's probably what these are. Let's give these a quick listen here. Yeah, super simple pattern, just one kick on the one, of every 2 bars, and then it's just a little. I think that was a very like I want to say that was like an In Rainbows kind of pull. Whatever the song is that starts with it's like their biggest song. I can't believe that I'm forgetting it off of it. But yeah, that's what that is. So yeah, that's the first section, and then we just have the drums continue. These drums continue throughout the whole song. I just put them on loop. I chop them up here at the end, but for this first half of the song, they're the same. So we won't be coming back to drums. Let's give a look at the bass. Yeah, and here, I don't know. I didn't think I did a great job of playing that, but like it was close enough, so I used it. But as far as presets go for that one, I used DI bass, Guitar Rig 5. This is a standard for me. This is usually default. You'll see whenever I do tutorials, you'll see Guitar Rig 5 all the time, and DI bass is a preset I use. For pretty much every bass I track live bass for, it always goes through DI bass, and that's all that's on it. I have a couple of bass tracks here just for like ease of like, recording it when I was putting it together. Did it in different sections, but I'm pretty sure they're all just using Guitar Rig. So yeah, use the DI bass, Guitar Rig 5 DI bass preset for all my bass sounds that you hear in the song. The only thing about this one is it's got a limiter on it to cut out, because I might have like in between when I was doing the bam bam I might have been like scratching the strings or something like that, and I wanted the hits to be really tight and no noise in between. I wanted silence, so that's what the noise gate's doing here. And then guitars. Guitars I get a couple of questions about usually, so let's take a look at these. Yeah. So my approach to guitars is the same for this song as it is for pretty much every other song I make that has guitars in it. I love to do a left, a right, and a center. Just makes the guitar sound really huge, and also the beauty of playing like the same thing on a left and right, which I don't think I necessarily do for this one. Oh yeah, I did do something different, but playing a left and right is really nice because I'm not a great guitar player. I make a lot of mistakes, and so by having a left and right, they'll kind of cover up each other's mistakes. So that's one of my big things is doing a left and right guitar. You can do a guitar right down the center, and that works great. But for me, this makes it sound really big and makes me sound like a better guitarist than I am. As far as the presets go, let's see. We're using Clean Cave. This is another standard for me. Guitar Rig 5's Clean Cave. I really didn't touch much. I think I turned off the tape echo. The rest is stock. And I would be surprised if the other two are different, which they're not. They're all the same. So it's Clean Cave, and Clean Cave. Just turned the tape echo off because I thought it made it too noisy. But that's the preset. Guitar Rig 5's Clean Cave. Okay, and that does it for pretty much guitars. Is there anything else to cover in this? We get to the chorus here. Yeah, and it's just using the same effects, just Clean Cave 5 all the way through. DI bass from Guitar Rig 5 on the bass here. And drums are just, what I had programmed in Machine. So yeah, and that covers the whole first half of the song. Also, I apologize if I'm going too fast or too slow. I'm still new to the tutorials game, so if you have any comments on, if you want me to dive deeper into some things or leave some things out, please let me know. Helps me out a lot, and it's a nice way to make some YouTube videos and get the word out on how to make music that you enjoy making. All right, and so we do our final chorus here, and then things get crazy at the end here. So let's just go piece by piece here. So harmonics is Guitar Rig 5. Would you believe it? It is Clean Cave again. Harmonics, I'm just doing that thing where, if you lightly hold your finger, you don't press the string down, but if you just lightly hold your finger on a string, at the 12th, 7th, and 5th frets, you get this like kind of ringing sound. So that's what I'm doing there, and I just put that on loop for the rest of the track. That's using Clean Cave. Let's see what else we have here. We've got this main outro guitar, and again, it's doing that trick where it's got a left and a right to cover up each other's mistakes, make the guitar sound really wide. Let's see what we're doing here. Clean Cave. Wow, can you believe it? An EQ that does nothing, and then some low end that rolls off here. So that's that. And I'd assume this guy is the same. Yep, so the left and the right are the same guitars, like the same sound, different recordings, same preset. And then they go into a bus, which just has a little compressor on them to just glue them together a little bit. So those are the main guitars. Let's keep going here. The drums come back in. These are the same drums from earlier, but I went in and just chopped them up to get a new pattern, like I just went through with the cut tool and chopped it up to make it what I wanted. And then we have a couple new guitars coming in here. Let's see what this guy sounds like. Yeah. Kind of doing, what we were hearing earlier in the song. And we've got it panned left and right here. And that doesn't have any sound at all there. But, whoa, it's getting crazy. Those are your left and right guitars. Let's see what they're using. I'm going to guess Clean Cave. Oh my goodness, would you believe it? It's Clean Cave. Literally every song I make, I use Clean Cave all day long. Maybe I'll turn off one plugin or two, but, for the most part, it gets the job done every time. I cannot recommend it enough. I think Guitar Rig, they're on Guitar Rig 7 or 8 now? So Guitar Rig 5, if you can find it, because you know how they like to, kind of close off support or whatever, but if you can get your hands on Guitar Rig 5, I can't imagine it's that expensive anymore, because it's kind of outdated, but it's got a great set of sounds. Just buy for Clean Cave alone. Just makes recording guitar so easy and so fun. So yeah, and then we get into the big dun 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 dun. Comp drums. These are another standard for me. I use a lot of the same plugins over and over and over again. It makes writing songs really easy for me because I know what I'm going to get. And then, you can play around with effects if you need them. It's a lot of ornamentation, to make things exciting. But like the core of my songs kind of use the same things over and over again. So this is SSD 5. This is the free version, so it cost me $0.00. I've been using it for years, and it sounds great. I use the free dry and tight kit all the time, and I've got a couple of effects on it here. We're using an EQ to really crank the volume on it so that when it gets run through the compressor, it really, gets, let's see if we can hear it here. I mean, I think it's a really great sounding. It's probably it's my favorite live drum kit VST. Like I have a little electronic drum kit that I'll usually, play these on just to kind of get that feel. And then out of habit, I'll quantize it, which isn't great, but I think it does a really good job of getting like a very realistic drum kit sound, which is very hard to do, hard to find. But SSD drums make it very easy. So yeah, Steven Slate Drums 5, that's the name of the plugin. Runs through a big old compressor here, the Maximus plugin. I think it's I use Clearmaster RMS. I start with this as the first preset, and then I'll tweak kind of the release times and the gain to kind of get the sound that I want. If I want it to be bassier or if I want it to be a little sharper, you just tweak the pre-gain for that frequency spectrum, and that does a really nice job, so... we've got another set of EQs that does nothing. I must have been playing around with it and decided I didn't want to do anything. That's turned off. We've got another Maximus EQ that, again, here is just to glue everything together and give us a little boost to the high end. And then a nice reverb here. Probably I would assume the Cathedral Hall, and then I just mess with the amount, which is the wet, slider here. So that's my drum sound. And then it goes totally crazy. So I do finally use some sounds that aren't just clean K5. Let's take a look at what those things are. So let's see. Where do we start with this? Let's look at the bass. There it is. DI bass again. And that probably is just looped throughout. Yep, sure enough it is. We've got a main outro guitar. I know that's clean cave. That's in there. What else is in here? We've got this ambient center guitar. Where is it? Okay. I like this sound a lot. I think ooh, let's see if we can, oh wow, it's not going to stop. All right, fine. This one is Guitar Rig 5's Orbiting Berlin. Again, I don't think I really messed with the presets too much. I kind of just went with it, and then I probably EQ'd it a little bit. Yep, brought a little bit of the high end up, cut the lows, because I just needed that shimmery goodness here. That crazy sparkliness, I thought that was really fun. So that's what I used there. The panning, usually for me, drums and bass go right down the middle, and then guitars I very rarely like to have come straight down. I like to kind of place them around in the stereo field. So those guys are kind of a little left and right, and then everything else is pretty hard panned. I mean, especially these guys and those guys. Let's see what else we have in here. The heavy guitars. Now this again is for heavy sounds. I usually will fall to the stereo 80s monster preset. I take all of the bass off. I turn off the psych delay because it just makes it way too busy, and I also turn off the little reflector reverb that it has. So I get a really nice dry sound, and then I bust it into my guitar bus, which really cranks the high end, cuts some of the mids here. A little bit of delay, a little ping pong delay, very subtle. Some Lux verb to put it in a room, and then again, just doing a little boost to this area here, because this frequency range, the human ear is highly attuned to. So when you just push this up a little bit, and your song will feel much louder, even though the volume that you'll see in in your master track, the dB meter, will only go up a little bit, but it'll feel a lot louder. So there's a fun little tidbit for you guys. Let's see. So those are my heavy tracks. Let's give those a listen. Let's give that wall of sound a listen. Yeah, cool. That's tough. Yeah, it's pretty thin, so to make room for the bass and all the other instruments that are happening. So yeah. I want to speed run through these last few because I think this video is way too long already. So let's see what else we have here. So we've covered this. We've covered all of these. We just have to get to these 4 here. What do we got? Let's see. Now that is a guitar, and it's being run through Guitar Rig 5, and it's using this plastic sock preset here. What's beautiful about this thing is you can kind of play just like whatever you've been playing before, or something like very simple, and it'll make it go crazy. I have a little parametric EQ on it and a stereo enhancer to just make it a little wider. That's that sound in there. I mean, you can barely even hear it in the full mix. I just wanted it to be chaotic as heck. So there's a lot of sounds that get lost in translation here. Let's see what this guy's doing. I think you can hear that one at least pretty well once it comes in. Yeah, let me see. Is that doing anything different? I got to imagine no, right? Stereo 80s Monster again. Yeah, so all of my heavy guitars in this song are just Stereo 80s Monster with the bass turned down on both amps. Oh, not for this one, though. So you never know. You play around with it and you find out what sounds good, and that's that. So this one's got a little less bass to it, but it's not completely gone. And I left all the reverb on it because it sounded good. So yeah, there's a heavy left and right. Let's give these a listen. Yeah, so they're both just Guitar Rig 5 Stereo 80s Monsters with oh, not that one on the right there. That one's 1993 Hot Solo Rig. This is another pretty standard use for me. This one I like if I need even a little more heat than the Stereo 80s Monster can give me, like for a really hot lead part. This is my go-to. Lux verb for the reverb, and there it is again, that boost in that set of frequencies that really cranks the energy on it. So that's that guitar part, and then here's the last one, is oscillate hot. Let's see what we have here. Yeah, 1993 Hot Solo Rig again. Same deal. Like, dude, I'm doing the same stuff over and over and over again. I gotta get creative, man. I'm not doing enough. I need to start really freaking out. The Fruity Love Filter. This is a fun one because it's a nice way to automate your panning, without having to do it like at the fader level. Like you can do it in chain and then put effects on after it. So I like to do a Fruity Love Filter into like a reverb or a delay, so that it gets a plot, like the whole, it sounds like an amp on a swing or something like that in a room, as opposed to if you had these flipped, right, where if you had the Lux Verb up here and then the Fruity Love filter like that, then as soon as you've done that, now you've put the whole room on a swing and the whole room is swinging back and forth. Not as much fun. So it's a little more realistic that way. Yeah, as far as my Lux Verb settings, because I just realized that I haven't really been going deep into these. I don't know. I think I use like one of these bright halls or something like that, and then I'll just tweak a couple knobs. Like decay is usually something I will mess with. This is a pretty important knob that just tells how long the tail of the reverb is. And low cut, which takes all the low end out of the reverb, because that can get muddy quick. But I didn't do it here. I didn't feel it was necessary. So, yeah. And then that's the oscillate hot. Let's hear that on its own really quick, and then we'll listen to the rest of it and call it a day. Yeah, really not a really very inspired. Well, you know what? I wouldn't say it's not inspired. It's just very simple. But that's what I needed to get out of this one, and you'll hear it as it kind of goes. It's just wailing in the background and really just brings that final cherry on top of the chaos ice cream sundae that I've been building here. So yeah, and that's the whole track. So to review the most important plugins, VSTs, and effects you need to kind of achieve this sound, Guitar Rig 5 is an essential. I use it on everything. Guitar Rig 5, the DI bass for my basses, Clean Cave for my clean guitars, Orbiting Berlin for like a fun, sparkly effect, Plastisock for something similar. As for my distorted guitars, it was Stereo 80s Monster, and for like a really hot lead, you do what was it called? The 1993 Hot Solo Rig. So yeah, those are the sounds that I use. And that's pretty much the whole track. Yeah, so we just kind of speed ran through this and just went over sounds. If you have any questions at all about anything I make, please let me know. I am more than happy to make a tutorial. I am a self-taught musician. YouTube has been my teacher, still is, for the past 12 years. And I am so grateful for the community that is here, that's let me learn everything for no money at all. And so I just want to be able to give back to the next group of people who are looking to make music and push the boundary. I think it's really important to make music, especially in a time where AI is threatening these kind of things. Yeah, not really, they're making it sound like it's a threat, but it just makes boring stuff. And maybe it'll make something so crazy and so good that maybe it will be art one day. I doubt it, but maybe I'm wrong. But we'll see. So yeah, so yes, if you have any questions at all about how to make any music, anything at all, please let me know. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for all your kind comments. I'll see you around. Bye-bye.